This map was drawn in a dead man's blood, and it's going to get us all killed. Misfortune's voice cut through the wet, low growl of the sea, harsh and cracked from too much rum. Her red coat hung heavy with salt and sand, clinging to her hips like flayed skin. The crew had gathered around her in the crooked shadow of the Black Dagger, their ship now marooned like a rotting tooth in the gum of the black sanded beach. The wind didn't howl here. It whispered. It hissed. The palm trees swayed like they were breathing. The sky never changed. A permanent twilight hung overhead, violet and corpse gray, as if God had bruised the horizon and never let it heal. The beach was littered with bones, not driftwood, not shells, just bone. Hollow bird skulls, rib cages like broken umbrellas, vertebrae arranged in curling spirals. There were no seagulls, no sound but the sighing of the tide and the far-off clang of rusted chains. Her crew didn't believe the map was cursed. Not then, not yet. They believed in Blackbeard's gold, the legendary hoard of kings and traitors buried beneath the heart of Death Island. And Misfortune, gunslinger and pirate queen, had taken the map from the dying hands of Blackbeard himself after blowing off 3 of his fingers. The first man vanished before the fire was even lit. A fresh recruit with a sailor's tattoo and a stammer. They found his boot half buried in the sand, blood leaking out of it like a torn wineskin. The second was gone by dawn. His bunk was soaked in brine. Just brine, no blood. On the 3rd day, they found a hand nailed to driftwood. Coral barbs threaded through the fingers. The flesh was oddly preserved, bluish and rubbery, as if pickled in sea salt. It wasn't until the 4th disappearance that they saw the eyes watching them from just below the waves. She caught the first one near midnight. The trap was her idea, chum-laced with iron shavings, tossed into the reef pools, and a net made of fishing hooks and prayer. The thing they caught thrashed like a hooked shark, screaming in a voice that sounded too human and too wrong. It had the torso of a woman, bloated and pocked with barnacle scabs. Its hair was like seaweed and wire, thick with mucus and tangled crab shells. But the mouth, too wide, ringed with inner rows of teeth like an eel. It spoke, gurgled, tried to sing. The crew gagged it and bound it to a pole like a trophy. That's when Ariel came ashore. She walked from the sea like she was made of it. Skin pale as pearls, eyes empty sockets glowing with faint blue light, lips sewn in a curve that mimicked a smile but never moved. The dress she wore had once been royal, now torn and salt-stained, clinging to her like a second skin. Her legs, yes, legs, not a tail, were too long, too thin, like a spider crab. She carried a trident made from a whale's jawbone. "I want the map," she said, her voice like coral breaking. "It doesn't belong to you." Misfortune aimed both pistols at her, red curls plastered to her temple with sweat. "I know who you are. You're not getting a damn thing but a bullet." Ariel cocked her head. "You think the treasure's gold? You poor little fool. The treasure is the silence, the ending, the rot." What followed was chaos. The tide surged unnaturally high, vomiting creatures like nightmares. Mermaids with crustacean exoskeletons, sirens with hollow torsos, mouths gaping with rows of sharpened spoons for teeth. They attacked without mercy, dragging screaming crewmen into the surf. Misfortune fired until her barrels overheated, her shots tearing limbs from bodies, seawater spraying in arcs like arterial blood. She watched one of her favorites, Old Jack, get pulled down by 3 of them. He didn't scream, his mouth filled with sand. She fought to the bitter end. The beach turned red, her fingers blistered around her pistol grips. When her guns ran dry, she used the butt ends. When those broke, she used her hands. And then Ariel came again. They fought beneath the shattered mast of the Black Dagger, its sails torn to ribbons and covered in sea slugs. Misfortune's boots slipped in the blood-soaked sand. Ariel's movements were liquid, inhuman, darting and twisting with elegance born of another world. The trident grazed Misfortune's ribs, peeling skin like paper. She shot Ariel in the shoulder, but it only made her grin wider. "You're just like me," Ariel whispered, pressing close, blood leaking from her jaw where a bullet had shattered bone. "You live for pain. You live for the kill. You just wear a prettier face." Misfortune headbutted her. Ariel reeled. With a roar, the pirate queen drove her broken sword, half a cutlass, jagged and rusted, through Ariel's throat. The mermaid gurgled, grabbed her neck, and fell. Misfortune was alone. The beach was a charnel pit, bodies twisted in death poses, some half consumed. The surf bubbled with blood. The map, clutched in her belt, pulsed hot against her hip as if alive. She followed it. The heart of the island was not jungle or cave. It was a pit, a vast crater, its walls lined with skulls fused into coral, its floor etched with symbols in languages she had never known but now understood. Words like hunger, like nothingness. In the center was a pedestal made of bone. She placed the map upon it. It crumbled instantly, ash scattering on a windless plain. Carved into the stone in front of her, the treasure is solitude. The reward is rot. She screamed, fired her last bullet into the pedestal. It ricocheted and vanished. No ship would come, no signal could reach. No creature lived here but her. She tried to leave, tried to row out on a piece of hull, tried to swim until her muscles tore. But every time she reached the horizon, she awoke on the beach, bruised and coughing. She ate crab, she drank rainwater, she whispered to the corpses that washed up, mouths full of sand and barnacles. The island did not let her die. Not yet. She carved names into the rocks with her nails until they split. She wrote journal entries on her own skin with fishbone ink. She built a scarecrow of Ariel's corpse and talked to it when the silence got too loud. Her hair turned white. Her voice went hoarse. She walked the beaches, counting bones. And sometimes, late at night, she swore she heard Ariel laugh beneath the waves. Misfortune stood on the beach, her toes in black surf, the sky an eternal bruise above her. "I killed the sea," she whispered. And the sea whispered back, "Not yet."